Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Commitment season is here. Tennessee has been hot on the recruiting trail. Can they keep that momentum? They picked up 4 recruits within the last few days, and there's something I like about each one of these kids. You start with Edward Baker, a 3-star interior offensive lineman, 6'4", 315 pounds, but he plays at St. Francis Academy in Baltimore, Maryland. That is an elite program. He goes head-to-head with elite talent, elite competition, not only every single day in practice, but also on game day as a junior. Didn't give up a single sack that entire season. I think Edward Baker is a guy that you take a shot on. Yes, he's a 3-star, but I think you got an opportunity to develop a player there. Again, the competition level speaks for itself. You took a shot on another 3-star, Zayden Anderson, an in-state kid, a 3-star athlete, 6'1", 170 pounds out of Greenville, Tennessee. But you put on the tape, you look at what he brings to the table, the athleticism, the speed. I like Zayden Anderson. And then you added a 4-star edge rusher in Kedrick Golston, comes from an NFL family, has that NFL blood. And then the big one, you want to talk about speed. You want to talk about athleticism. Getting 4-star athlete Legend Bay committing to Tennessee over Texas A&M, absolutely huge. Can you go flip Tristan Keys? And then you give Faison Brandon the weapons. Legend Bay, Tristan Keys, Tyreek King. Let's go play some football. You missed out on one last night. Brandon Anderson ultimately chose Missouri over Tennessee, but everything I've read, everything that I've seen indicates that was more on Tennessee's side of things when they took Edward Baker. It's a numbers game at that point. They like what they have on the interior, and you can go look at the commitment list and say, Boogie, what are you talking about? Tennessee has only taken one interior offensive lineman, but they like what they have on this roster. They like the young talent that they have on this roster. You know, that's something that I said about Wendell Moy Jr. That's something that I said about Sam Pendleton is those guys have experience. They played a lot of football, but they also have a lot of football in front of them. So I think Tennessee likes what they have. They took the shot with Edward Baker, and they continue to recruit the number 1 ranked interior offensive lineman in the country in Darius Gray. I made a video on him a couple of days ago. It's titled 5-Star Update. At one point, he said Tennessee was at the top, but we got a long way to go. Not going to make a decision until after the season is over, but Tennessee definitely in it there. So I think Brandon Anderson was more of a numbers game than it was anything else. So who's next? Who's next to come off the board? Well, you got a couple of teammates down there in Jackson, Mississippi at Jackson Academy. TJ Wyatt, a 4-star linebacker, ranked 80th overall in the country, and also his teammate Darion Albert, a 4-star defensive lineman, ranked just outside the on 300. They're coming off the board Tuesday, July the 1st. We're going to go live right here on the channel, 1 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to look at some of their film. We're going to walk you through their recruitment, and then we're going to take you all the way up to the decision, which should come around 2 p.m. Eastern time. But spoiler alert, the predictions are in. It sounds like the Vols are trending to land both of those blue chip prospects. So who's after that? Well, I could talk about a 4-star athlete. This is a big-time target for me. I think this would be a huge win for Tennessee. 4-star athlete. He's ranked 58th overall in the country, one of the top prospects in the state of Tennessee. We talk about keeping that in-state talent home, but he says it's down to Tennessee and Vanderbilt. We're talking about Vanderbilt. He says it's 50-50 between the Vols and Vanderbilt. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. But as always, I need you guys to do that YouTube stuff for me. Just real quick, smash the thumbs up down there below the video. It helps the channel, and I would appreciate it if it's your first time here. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. We're not experts here. We're not insiders. We're not media. We're not journalists. We don't pretend to be that. What we are is exactly what you guys are watching the channel. It's for the fans, by the fans. If you like it, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. If you click that bell, you're going to get that notification so you don't miss out when we go live, when we drop videos, and we've got a bunch of live streams coming your way. Again, we're going to cover the recruitment of the 2 teammates tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Do they choose Tennessee? But then also Wednesday night, ball commit Edward Baker hit me up. He wants to come on the show. We're going to hang out. We'll talk a little ball with Edward Baker. We're going to get to know him. That's going to be fun. Wednesday night. The following Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to have Don Bailey, Tennessee defensive lineman, is going to be in the house talking ball. That should be fun. So again, subscribe, click that bell, get dialed in. But let's talk about one of the top athletes, not only in the country, but also the number 2 ranked prospect in the state of Tennessee, and that is Joel Wyatt. He's a 4-star listed there at 6'4", 196 pounds. Going to be interesting to see how much weight he adds to his frame, and I think a lot of that may depend on what position he ends up playing at the next level, and that position that he ends up playing at the next level is a big part of this recruitment. And we're going to talk about that. Scheduled to come off the board on Sunday, July the 6th. Have not seen a time yet. If it is around the evening time, we'll do that, and we'll shift the EA Sports College Football stream because Joel Wyatt, we got to cover it live. It's Tennessee. It's Vanderbilt. Again, he said it's 50-50, but this is a kid that's been in Knoxville a lot. Again, an in-state kid, Bell Buckle, Tennessee. Short little trip over to Knoxville. He's been here for 3 games alone. Last year, he was here for the Florida game, Bama game, Kentucky game. He was also in town for a junior day earlier this year. Took all of his officials in June. He went to Tennessee, Vanderbilt, and Georgia. He was most recently one of the top performers at a Rivals 5-star camp, and it was the first time that he's actually worked a camp setting primarily on the defensive side of the ball. This is what Charles Power said about him playing that defensive side at the camp. He said the jumbo athlete looked at home in the secondary. Said Wyatt made several splash plays throughout the day. He had strong coverage in one-on-one, showing the long speed to stick with wide receivers on vertical routes. Wyatt made a pair of outstanding plays during 7-on-7 on both sides of the ball. Said he came down with a leaping interception in a group of 3 to 4 players early on during pool play. He later caught a high-point touchdown during the championship game. After seeing Wyatt work on both sides of the ball, we feel he's a more natural fit on defense. And again, that is a big part of his recruitment. Tennessee recruiting him at the edge position. Sounds like Vanderbilt is recruiting him and selling him on playing maybe both sides of the ball. Is that something that Tennessee should do? I think you can point to Boo Carter and say, hey, look, we're going to allow this kid to do it. Maybe we could allow you to do it. I want to take a look at some highlights here. You guys watch the tape. Where would you play Joel Wyatt? And I'm going to go through the scouting report from Cooper Patagna over at 247 Sports. Says he's a polarizing two-way athlete with a robust multi-sport background that possesses the ability to project to either side of the football at the next level. Again, that's going to be the ongoing theme here. A long, gangly mover hovering around 6'4", 200 pounds, Wyatt operates with relative ease and athleticism on both sides of the ball while demonstrating the ability to chew up cushion quickly and navigate in and out of breaks efficiently at the wide receiver position. Although he's still developing as a pass catcher, the top 247 standouts length, leaping ability, and open field elusiveness make him one of the more dynamic prospects in his position group. On defense, the Tennessee native will situationally reside as an overhang safety, covering ground quickly while flashing natural instincts and run support, but is primarily used as a 3-4 stand-up edge where his speed and athleticism are virtually impossible to defend for opposing offensive linemen. Again, that's where Tennessee wants him. They see the athleticism, they see the speed, they see the length, and they think he can add that weight to his frame to be a game changer at that edge position. Goes on to say, although his collegiate position projection is still coming into focus, Wyatt unquestionably possesses the elite physical traits to play receiver or defensive back on Saturdays, while his lack of lower body mass will more than likely prevent him from playing any closer to the line of scrimmage. Either way, the top 247 standout projects as an all-conference prospect at the Power 4 level with the potential to develop into an early-day NFL draft choice. So, again, that's the scouting report on Joel Wyatt. And again, it summarizes kind of how his recruitment is going. Tennessee wants him at the edge. Vanderbilt says, hey, we'll play you both sides. But, you know, what position is he going to end up at? You look at the national guys, and a lot of them feel that Tennessee is the team to beat here. Steve Wiltfong has a prediction in for the Vols. It's been in there since January. Chad Simmons likes Tennessee, but he's also said that Vanderbilt is putting up a fight. Tom Loy of 247 Sports also likes the Vols. One of the interesting things from Steve Wiltfong, he said the Volunteers currently have my on-3 RPM for Joel Wyatt. Tennessee recruits him correctly. Again, if Tennessee recruits him correctly, then they will ultimately land him. He's a guy that could play multiple positions at the next level, but are you going to play him where he wants to play the most or where those around him think he'll be the most successful? Says LSU is a program that likes him at safety and is very real in his process. So again, where does Tennessee play? In VolQuest, their most recent update said Joel Wyatt is down to 2, and Tennessee offers the best package overall in terms of setup and all that comes with being a home state Vol. As we head into the July 6th decision, we still feel like Tennessee has the best chance to land, and we also continue to believe that he would rather not play outside linebacker long term. So that situation is worth watching. So we go back to Steve Wiltfong's comments. How is Tennessee recruiting him? If they recruit him correctly, they're going to land him. Look, man, he's a blue chip in-state prospect. Second best player in the state of Tennessee, 4th best athlete in the country. Just recruit him as an athlete and go from there. Just recruiting him as an athlete. Say, hey, we'll try to get you in the best position, but you also got to be honest with these kids. You can't tell Joel Wyatt, okay, we're going to play you at safety. We're going to play you at wide receiver. Then you bring him into camp and you say, hey, Go line up with the outside linebackers. Well, that's not going to work, especially in the day and age of a transfer portal, the day and age where we see a kid commit, become an early enrollee, go through spring camp, and not even play a single game of college football with the team he committed to out of high school. He's already in the portal, and he's going elsewhere. That's happening all over the country. So you got to be honest with Joel Wyatt here, but I think it's also worth noting that one of Tennessee's top targets at safety, four-star safety, Craig Tutt, appears to be trending to Ole Miss. I use that, and I sell Joel Wyatt on the possibility to play safety. And for me, that's a position group that we've really kind of struggled to land these blue-chip guys. So if you can take a top 100 guy, an elite prospect, an elite athlete that's making plays in the Rivals five-star camp on defense, on offense, and you can get him to Knoxville playing that safety position, then let's freaking go. So how is Tennessee recruiting him? Will they recruit him the right way? Will we get this one across the finish line? I think Joel Wyatt is a big one, not only because of his versatility, but he's also an in-state kid, and you want to make that a priority. What are your thoughts? Jump in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Do you think Tennessee will recruit Joel Wyatt the right way, or do you think they're going to sell him on edge or bust? Let's talk about it. Smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Go check out the Talkin VAWLS merchandise, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. You can also support the channel by hitting that join button down there beside subscribe. You can join the channel for $1 a month. You get access to custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, fan call-in shows, all kinds of fun perks and benefits. But more importantly, you keep the lights on around here, and we are grateful for that. Links are in the description for all that, but that is going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name's Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.